Alright, quick update on ICP. So recently we've come back and we are basically testing the lows that we put in on these candle body closes like a week ago. It's not looking the greatest in my opinion. If we come over to the higher time frames, you can see it's not a perfect M. Nonetheless, we are M'ing out once again. And for the past couple of weeks, you know, the last time we saw an M like this, you know, once again, like I said, it doesn't have to be a perfect M, it just has to be M'ing out. And this was another scenario where, you know, instead of having a perfect M where you've got a lower high like this, we actually put in a higher high like that before breaking down. So this happens quite a lot. You can see there's another M here that we do break down from. M's seem to have a pretty good likelihood of breaking down on ICP. I mean, we've got another one here which broke down. I mean, everywhere in the time frame, I'm just seeing M's, and once again, you can see this one M'ing out, not a perfect M, but nonetheless, we're heading down. So, where are we really in the macro scale for ICP? Well, we're still in this huge downtrend, and you could say this is a descending channel. You could actually say this would be the flag to a huge bear flag that, you know, initially started up here at $632. I mean, I really wouldn't even entertain this if the poll wasn't so convincing, and obviously the price target of this is going to be in the minuses, so I really don't think it's going to play out. Nonetheless, it is something to keep in mind that we are still in this general downtrend, and I mean, we could move this over and we'd have slightly less touch points, but you know, I'd still consider this completely valid. I mean, I think this lines up quite nicely. Either way you draw it, I mean, this lines up perfectly with what I kind of think is going on in the market, because I think we have topped out in the short term. I've highlighted this multiple times with ICP, but you can see we've got a high here. We've got, or we should probably do it from back here. So, you know, you've got a local high up here. We have a big dump, big pump, local high. And all of these highs end up being lower highs. You've got lower high, lower high, lower high. And, you know, normally after we put in these lower highs, a lot of the time after it, we put in like an M pattern or like an ugly M pattern, and then we break down. And once again, you can see we've got this M pattern, or we're M'ing out on the higher time frames at least, and we are heading down. You can see lower time frames as well. I mean, it's not perfect. I'd have to come over to be fair, the daily showed it quite well. But you can see once again we've got one of these ugly M patterns where the next part of it is higher instead of lower, but these do normally break out to the downside, so I think we need to keep our eyes on this close. Either way, for the past week or so, we've been talking about this breakdown of this level that we had here at 18. I think this was a fib level that we deleted, but nonetheless, you can see from our prediction we broke down from approximately $18. And we had a price target down here at $14.75. That was an 18% drop we were predicting. And we only have about 8% to go. So we have fallen quite harsh. We're down 11% since we did make that prediction. Where does this 18 come from? I wanna see. I might have moved it. Alright, let's just call it the 618 because I don't know. Oh, it must be from here. Yeah, there we go, so that makes sense. So if I move this down, you can see this is actually the 618. So yeah, we cleaned up the chart since our last video. If we come over to the daily, you can see the MFI almost looks like it has bottomed. But do bear in mind, every time we have had, you know, a lot of the time we come down to 25, we've already taken that level out. So after that level, we normally bottom at either 12 or 10, respectively, on the money flow indicator. We're currently just above 20. I'd argue we're at 21 right now. So, you know, there is still a lot of room to go to the downside. I do expect that $14 is going to be in the table in the next couple of days or so. I mean, the bears are in full control of this downtrend. You know, we tried to flip back bullish on the daily money, on the daily EMA ribbons, and we just got a harsh rejection, which is not what you want to see. On the 4 hour, yeah, we've got a nasty, nasty rejection. And quite recently, the past 4, 8, 12, the past 12 hours or so, we have fallen out of the side of these EMA ribbons once again. So not really good, not what you want to see. The bulls tried to take control while we were accumulating to the side, but now they have lost control and it is in the hands of the bears. So all in all, I do think we are going to at least head down to $14. That is quite obvious in my opinion. I mean, Bitcoin has broken out to the downside of this asymmetrical triangle. We're currently putting in a bearish pennant / bear flag. So I do think Bitcoin potentially has a little bit more of a flush out to go. And obviously if ICP takes out this bottom line, which it looks like it wants to do, then, you know, there is really nowhere else for us to go apart from down here at $14.75. So keep your eyes on approximately $16. If we start breaking solidly below there, then, you know, unfortunately I would be predicting this move to the downside. Well, I already am predicting it, but that would really be in the nail in the coffin. ICP against Bitcoin, let's zoom out. Yeah, not looking good at all. We can't even really... I mean, all of the price targets on this fib are done apart from the extensions down here. So we're going to need to draw off another fib now. But yeah, I mean, I wonder if fibs would do this justice, because I mean, we are just moving down very, very quickly for ICP priced against Bitcoin. So my number one concern with trading ICP or buying ICP is that if you're going to buy an altcoin, you buy it because you believe that it's going to outperform Bitcoin. There is absolutely no point in buying an altcoin that doesn't outperform Bitcoin, because you're taking on all of this extra risk and Bitcoin is still outperforming it. So I mean, if we look at this chart, it does not look good. I mean, sure, if you buy this at the perfect time, this could have a rally, but in my opinion it would be a dead cat bounce. I don't think ICP is ever going to catch up to the value proposition as Bitcoin. I think ICP is going to continue to keep bleeding against Bitcoin, and I almost think it would be, you know, kind of silly to just draw fibs on this and say, oh, as long as we stay above our 786 down here, then we're fine. I mean, we're clearly not fine. I mean, the macro downtrend is very much in play. The bulls are losing control on the 4 hour, so not looking good at all. Hourly EMAs have flipped bearish. And yeah, I mean, all in all, I really don't like the setup of ICP priced against Bitcoin. I don't like the ICP chart, but ICP priced against Bitcoin is just, you know, it is really, really not good at all. So yeah, I really don't have too much opinions on ICP against Bitcoin, other than, you know, I do think at some point we are probably going to move down another 50% or so. I mean, we had this breakdown target that was a 60% drop, and now it's a 55% drop. I think we are going to keep falling off the table for ICP, unfortunately. That is just my opinion. Obviously, Bitcoin's breaking down right now, not looking good for the total crypto market cap as a whole. And, you know, ICP is really on its deathbed anyway. I mean, these lows, once we take them out, I mean, there's really nowhere else for us to go apart from $10. So that is all I see for ICP. Once again, none of this is financial advice. In my opinion, you know, we are heading down. There's no other way I can say it. I don't want to lie or sugarcoat it. You know, the chart doesn't really look too good in my opinion. So yeah, I mean, that's all I've got. Best of luck if you're in ICP. Once again, none of this is financial advice, just my opinion. And yeah, cowboy out. Peace.